Okay, you're back. I think your audio. You
We waited.
you are mute, Professor.
So you can hear me now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, something happened to the technology, internet, and then I don't know what happened. It just I think my module was rebooted, something like that. So anyway, I'm happy that you guys stayed and it's working now. So let's go back. I'm gonna share my screen again. Um, so where we are before I'm gonna where we are before we were disconnected. So what I was explaining before we were disconnected was about the property rights. So we can see many inventions were coming from um, United States, Britain, and many of the advanced countries because of the fact that there's the property rights we are protected. If you invent something, you reap the reward for years. Nobody can make it because you have that right protected. So we continue to grow technologically, and those countries that doesn't have those, they have those laws really, but they don't enforce it. Become a disincentive for people to invest or to invent things. But when they come here or to other any of the advanced countries, they start using those talents and inventing things. Um, so the economy continue to grow. So if you compare those countries that where we have rule of law, I'm not saying that advanced countries are perfect societies. I mean, every society have their own bad side, but the difference between them and other countries that they enforce law. If you commit a crime like stealing property, somebody's intellectual property or ideas to make, then if it is proved beyond reasonable doubt, then you will be punished. Either you pay what they call not a compensation. That I forgot how they Miss Jenkins will know better than me in this one business. Uh, if you if you if you violate the property rights, or then you be receive some there will have to be some consequences. That's what I'm trying to say here.
Compensation damages.
Damages and all things like that. So that prevent people from doing that. And because of that, those that and then you are encouraged to invent or to create things. Um, Now then you can also use your property to raise money, capital, and invest in more businesses compared to those countries where those laws are not enforced. Uh, Now, another one is the right to profit. The right to profit. Business owners have the right to all the profits and after taxes earned through their activities. This might sound strange to you here because we are used to it here. I mean, you make a profit, but there are some places where it's not that possible, where government can uh, control. Not really control the profit per se. There are some. Let me put it this way. Uh, uh, the the right for profit also include the right to enter certain businesses. There are some countries whereby certain areas um, or businesses you cannot venture those areas. Um, there are some countries where um, the natural resources are controlled by the government, so you cannot go in there and make profit because you're not even allowed to do that. Now, but that is not the point. The right of profit, what I'm referring to, is where government actually run the business. So the individuals are not allowed to own businesses. Um, at least the majority of the businesses, um, like the former Russia. Soviet Union, call it Soviet Union. People don't have the right to own a business. Government control all businesses, and all those businesses where government were controlling at that time, they're all making losses, really, in the former Soviet Union. But we don't know about that because the economy was run. It was almost like a closed economy. So the people that run that businesses they run it for the government, not for the people. They're not interested in creating things that people want. They're interested in pleasing the party, the Communist Party. So in that case, they don't have, even if they're not making profit, and if they're not making profit, because the Communist Party want to prove that their system is the best. So they keep, now if you don't produce your financial statement, if you're the manager of the business and you don't show evidence that you're making profit, they will send it to what I call it the gulag, a form of work camps where you'll be worked to death. See? So now, in those that time, so many of the managers were forced actually to falsify their financial statements to make the book look good. So to us, outside the Russia, so it's us outside the Soviet Union, we thought that the economy was growing because what they are publishing, the statistics they are publishing, was telling us that the economy is growing. It is only in 1989 when the Soviet Union collapsed that we started seeing what was actually going on. So what I'm saying is the right to profit means that you have the right to start a business and make money, make profit, but in such a society, it's not that way. And we might think that this doesn't exist anymore. It does. Think of North Korea and most other countries, even in China, there are certain businesses that you cannot venture into. Or before you can go into that kind of business, you have to go into in partnership. I think many of the companies in China have somebody from the Communist Party in among the board members. I think I'll have to look into that again because it used to be like that. Yeah. So not that you don't have the right to make profit in some. I mean, many countries have seen the bad side of communism, and then started to transition toward capitalism, or free enterprise, private enterprise. But not everything has changed. There are still some areas that are not. I would say they call it no-go areas that you can't go into start business and earn profit. Another one is this: the freedom of choice in the private enterprise system. Citizens in private enterprise are free to choose their own employment, their own purchases, and investments. This means that they can change jobs, negotiate wages, join labor unions, and choose among different brands of goods and services. Now, like I say, this one, when I read it in my classes, they will say, like people in the US and many countries have this. They will say, "What are you talking about?" We know this is normal. Well, it's not always the case, and I will give you an example. In China today, if you live in, let's say that you live in, I live in Maryland. I can find a job in Connecticut or Texas and move there, live there, and enjoy all the rights of a citizen, But you can't do that in China. Why? Because if you move from one state, from one region to the next region, in that region you are moved into, you are like like a migrant or immigrant because of what they call it household registration system. So if you live in this state, you are registered in this state. That means your student can go to school in this state. If you move in that next region in search of job, you have some kind of an immigrant status. So your children might not go to work there, go to school there, because they are registered in another region, in another part of the country. You see what I'm saying? So because of that household registration system, that's why they have that kind of system. But here and most advanced countries, we don't have it. So something that something like this in a free enterprise system, you don't have that kind of restriction. You can move around, job, negotiate wages. We still have like in America here, we have what they call union jobs, where that build the middle class, where people can those ones can command a higher salaries than non-union jobs, and so on and so forth. Now there are countries where you have the labor unions, but they don't have this kind of power of that unions have here. Like if you listen to news, you have this people, the union of teachers and the government are battling when to go back to class and when not to go back to class, something like that. I mean, so many countries they might have teachers union, but they don't have that kind of power. The government will control that what they do. They have actually, a matter of fact, the union have their government representative as members of the union in a lot of countries. Questions? Any question?
No, so far.
No.
So,
I don't have any questions.
so we are supposed to go on break when it is for 10:30, but let us make it 3 minutes time. We go for the break because of that interruption from the power supply. Sorry, from the internet supply. So next is fair competition. The private enterprise system ensure that we have fair competition. So, because competition, because I'm trying to make money and the other person is trying to make money. So they might start doing, some practices that are illegal in the name of making profit. So there are laws that prevent things like that from happening. For example, we have the Federal Trade Commission that regulates deceptive advertising. That's what we call truth in advertising. Make sure that what you're advertising is the truth, not deceiving customers. Then we also have different laws that prevent a lot of things like price gouging, fraud, deceptive advertising, deceptive packaging. Like make sure that you have whatever you package, you put in a package goods that like now the Food and Drug Administration require that if it's a food product that is in package, you have to list the nutrition facts, what is in that food product. So this is just to make sure that they follow the rule of the game. I'm making money, I want to make money, but at the same time, provide services or goods that people want. And not only that, they not fake ones, but the quality ones, and so on and so forth. There's also, I'll give you an instance with this case, price gouging, whereby a manufacturer of a product, if the product is a unique product and they are the only person that make it, they can raise prices so high that it may become unaffordable. And because they control the market, it will become so difficult for consumers who need that product to get it at that price. There's a case that happened a few years ago, I think it's 2015, I think, by the Martin Shkreli, excuse me, who raised the price of this medication called Daraprim. He raised the price so high that people cannot afford it. Let me play this thing, a short video, so you can see. After that, you can now go this go a short break. Let me share the screen.
Professor, is he the one who went to jail?
Yeah, I think he's in jail now.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Let us see the video. You can see my screen.
Yes.
Let me you can see. And this is an important drug for treating some type of illness, but he raised it so high that he couldn't. Oh, excuse me. I think I made a mistake. Give me 1 minute. Let me put it there so you can see it. It is clearly. You can miss anything. Okay, let's see. You can hear this, right?
No, I'm not able to hear the video.
How about the rest of you?
Me neither.
No sound.
But you can see it. You can see it, right?
Yes.
Let me see if I can. Why you? Let me make. Okay, recording. Okay. Can you?
This morning, stocks of several biotech companies are.
Can you hear it now?
Yes.
Yes.
Down. Investors are responding to the outrage over a 5,000% price increase for a life-saving medicine. One tablet of Daraprim used to cost $13.50. The drug maker recently increased the price to $750. Don Daler shows us why the company is standing by the massive price hike. Don, good morning.
Good morning. The increase drew protests in the medical community from those concerned that many patients will no longer be able to afford the drug. But according to Turing CEO Martin Shkreli, the move is simply a smart business decision.
Why was it necessary to raise the price of Daraprim so drastically?
Well, it depends on how you define so drastically, because the drug was unprofitable at the former price. So any company selling it would be losing money. And at this price, it's a reasonable profit, not excessive at all.
Daraprim was developed in 1953 as a treatment for toxoplasmosis, an infection caused by a parasite. It comes from eating undercooked meat or drinking contaminated water and affects those with compromised immune systems, like AIDS and cancer patients. When Turing Pharmaceuticals raised the price of Daraprim to $750 per tablet last month, the average cost of treatment for patients rose from about $1,130 to $63,000. For certain patients, the cost can run as high as $634,000. This particular drug is used by a small but vulnerable group of patients. So you see how greedy this move looked.
Yeah, I could see how it looks greedy, but I think there's a lot of altruistic properties to it.
Altruistic?
Absolutely.
In what way?
Yeah, so one example is that this is a disease where there hasn't been one pharmaceutical company focused on it for 70 years. We are now a company that is dedicated to the treatment and cure of toxoplasmosis. And with these new profits, we can spend all of that upside on these patients who sorely need a new drug, in my opinion.
Patients shouldn't be taxed and charged for future research and development. Patients should pay for the drug they are getting and what they need in a situation that they are.
Oncologist Dr. David Agus is a CBS News medical contributor.
It's predatory practice, and it's inappropriate, and we have to take a stand.
The topic entered the political debate on Monday, with Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton tweeting, "Price gouging like this in the specialty drug market is outrageous." Her rival, Bernie Sanders, sent a letter to Turing CEO Shkreli demanding information on the price increase and calling the rate hike the latest in a long list of skyrocketing price increases for certain critical medications. Sanders and Congressman Elijah Cummings have been investigating drugs that have seen a jump in price.
Right now, it's out of control. And so we, as a country, as a government, as individuals, as doctors, all have to get together and say, we need to make a pricing appropriate.
But according to Shkreli, the new cost of Daraprim is appropriate.
There's no doubt. I'm a capitalist. I'm trying to create a big drug company, a successful drug company, a profitable drug company. We're trying to flourish, but we're also our first and primary stakeholder as patients. There's no doubt about that.
Hillary Clinton says she will lay out a plan today about how to take on what she calls price gouging in the specialty drug market. The increased scrutiny on this practice has already led another company that sells a tuberculosis drug to rescind a major price hike enacted just last month. Gail.
Thank you, Don.
So you guys have seen it. Okay, let me go back to so in private enterprise, there's laws against this kind of things, and as we know, that HCO is he's now in jail. I mean, in addition to other things he did, the private enterprise have rules that, you know, to make sure that there's a competition is fair and profit making does not involve committing crime. Now let us take a short break, and we'll come back. We can now round up what we have today. So I will say let's take 10 minutes break. So 11:06 we'll be back. Okay. Hello?
Sounds good.
Yes, sir. 11:06.
Yeah, 11:06, sir. So enjoy your break, yeah? I see you back then. Yeah. We are back, I believe.
Yes, sir.
So let us continue. Here we look at the functional area of business. This usually thing that we have in a business as the business grows. So as you keep growing, if you have a small business, owners, the owner can be the manager, the marketing manager, the HR person, can be everything. But as the business grows, the owner will now discover that you need to have somebody or separate department to handle those things. So those key functional areas include the management, operations, marketing, accounting, and then finance. Now, of course, the management have to do with the manager, of course. So they supervise the whole business performance. They are the I'll call it the chief executive officer. Now, the operations, things like the day-to-day operations, like ordering raw materials, scheduling workers, and so on and so forth. Those things that come under operations. So we call it the area, the functional area that involve using the factors of production, that's the input, to changing it to the output. That means providing goods. So it's like the heart of the business, So ordering the supply, fulfilling as shipment, and all kind of things that business does for their day-to-day operations, day-to-day existence. I put it this way, to come under operations. So now, the other area is marketing, very, very important. You want the business or that the product that you supply to be known. So we call it the marketing side of the marketing area. So they promote goods and services. They determine how it will be delivered, and they are also involved in fixing the prices for the goods and services by working with the production sector, the production section. Then branding, branding means creating a kind of a name, on the mind of the customers about their business. So the marketing section, marketing functional area is involved in that. And the marketing have been actually evolving over the years. Today now is like the social network and the online, the social media. Basically, social media is really into marketing a lot. So the
One thing that I see more and more of, Professor, is that companies are joining with other companies to expand, I guess, their brand. Because, for example, my bank, I have Capital One. They now give out coupons. So instead of going to, they're cutting it to Amazon. They say instead of going to Amazon, use our site. This is Capital One. Use our bank site to find cheaper prices for the products that you buy. Now I go to Amazon. I'm an Amazon girl, so I'm on Amazon practically every second of the day. I want to be on Amazon shopping, and Amazon is beautiful because if you go to Walmart, you go to Walmart to the brick and mortar. If you go, I do crafts with my hands. I make things with my hands. That's my hobby. If you go there, they only have a small section of Walmart that covers crafts. And if you want something in particular, you have to take from what their selection is, which may not be.
And sometimes they might not have it at the store. So you have to,
exactly.
I see what you mean.
Okay, so, but with Amazon, you have so many choices. It's just unbelievable how many choices you have, and the price ranges as well. So I guess my point is, what is the purpose of like Capital One joining with selling coupons to undercut Amazon? I mean, Capital One business doesn't have anything, the bank doesn't have anything to do with coupons. But I see that a lot where all of these companies seem to be joining in together. If you go to Google, for example, I put in my Google information. If I go to another website that has nothing to do with Google, it'll ask me, do you want to use your Google login to join in? I'm like, well, wait a minute. No,
yeah,
not necessarily.
They want okay, to join with to log in with your Google email, right?
Yes. I'm like, well, no, I don't know. Why am I, or do you want to use your credit card, your Google credit information to shop at this particular place? Well, no, I mean, why am I giving you all my information? But I see that a lot, that it seems to be consolidation and businesses that normally would not have anything to do, like Capital One having nothing to do with selling coupons or trying to undercut the prices of Amazon. I see that so much more. I guess because the market's, I don't understand why. Is that because the market has become so tight, or what?
Well, it's not really undercutting because they're giving you coupon to buy things cheaper in Amazon, right?
No, they're giving you coupons to buy not on Amazon. They're trying to like cut into Amazon. So in other words, they say, don't shop at Amazon. You're paying too much by shopping at Amazon. We're going to give you coupons where you can find the lowest price for you and give you coupons, and you can go and shop at this particular website. So
okay, I see. So I see. You mean like Chapter 1 will give you a coupon to shop in a different website, right?
yes, like a website that they're affiliated with. So you might.
Okay, I see what you mean. Well, like it's all about competition. So, well, see, and if you have a business, any business practice that is legal but that can make you money, you naturally go into that. So now, if Capital One, in this Capital One is a financial institution, so
Yes.
they live on your information based on what you got, like information about your credit, your buying. If they can get access to your the way you shop, that is a big bonus for them. That means they now provide you those things that you always buy. Different. So now, if they are affiliated to a company, I don't know exactly how they will make money together. But if they're not making money through that affiliation, they wouldn't be in that affiliation. You see what I mean? So if they want you to go to certain websites, I think it has to be to collecting information about you. But it's like a kind of the two websites, the two companies are joining forces to get what they want from the customer. And in this case, I think in this case can be if they are giving you incentive in form of coupon to buy from that company, that means they are getting something from that company for them to direct you the traffic from you and some other customers to that company. There have to be something they are making. If they're not making anything from it, it might be to gain more access to your information, personal information, so that you can be easy to make you a loyal customer in the future, or whatever it is. There have to be what is an incentive for them to be doing that.
Okay, I understand.
So that is the main thing. Yeah. If there's no incentive for that, there's nobody's making money from that. They won't be doing that. So and the other ones about logging in, like sometimes you want to log into a website, they'll ask you, do you want to log in with your Facebook information or you're going to log in with a Google information? It's about getting your information because information is money. Information is money. So that's why sometimes, let's say that you apply for a credit card from let's say Bank of America. Within a month, you will see other banks sending you their messages through their, because now it's sending their sales letters, mails to you, offering you credit because they share those information. Yeah. Information is a big thing in this the era of social marketing, social networking. Social networking. Yeah. So logging in with your Facebook information means that now you have that information because sometimes people might have a website, an email that they never use. So if you provide that, it may not be viable for them. Now, but if you are logging in with your Facebook information, they can know that, okay, this is the email that you always check, and this is the email that you use in your Facebook. And with that email, with that information, they can see how the kind of area you visit. Like if I want to buy this, where you visit, the kind of things you buy, then they can start pushing those products to your side in an advertisement, So that's why you have things like that. Yeah. Now, next thing is accounting. Accounting is the language of business. The recording of business transaction in such a way that the financial position of that business will be known. So it's a very, very important part of the business. Not only in recording the financial transaction of the business, but also preparing their payroll and helping them with their taxes and so on and so forth. So that's why this in this part, this functional area is very important. If you're not keeping your book the right way, of course, Ms. Jenkins in the IRS, right? Ms. Jenkins?
Yes.
Yeah, if a company that is not keeping their book well, the IRS will not be happy with that company, I'm sure.
No, that's very true.
So, so it's a very, very important. As a matter of fact, many small businesses, if they're not sure they can be able to do it, they usually what they call it outsource. They outsource the accounting section to private accounting firm who will be doing their book, preparing their financial statements, their payroll, helping them with taxes and so on and so forth. So we have the financial accountants that are responsible for preparing the financial statements. Then we also have the managerial accountants who deal with things like regarding costs, budgeting, asset allocation, performance appraiser, and so on and so forth. And of course, you know, this is the area you are trying to go to, right, Ms. Jenkins? Accounting, right? Or was it Mr. William that is want to major in accounting?
No, business administration.
Okay, that means it's Jenkins then, right?
Yes, I'm looking to learn more about accounting or know about accounting.
Yes, it's an interesting area, and they are really in high demand too. Of course, like I say, you have to have the experience by doing some kind of internship or volunteering to gather experience. There used to be a time where they have so much shortage of accountants in America. The demand was so high. I don't know if it's still like that now.
How long does it take to study accounting?
It depends. It is same length of time for marketing or any of the business finance. It just depends on you. If you're able to finish it, an American system, like say community college, for example, I think it's 3 years to be there, but some people can finish in 2 years, some can finish in 3 years, some can finish in 5 years. You know, it depends on you how you're able to pass your classes and the rest of them. It's the same thing. The same thing with finance, there are also demand for it. Any aspect of business, there's demand for it, but some of them have higher demand than the other ones. But at the end of the day, if you have the experience, that's the main key. That's make you get a job very fast. That you get a job very faster than even the person that have that degree without experience. You know. Now, next is finance section. So this one deal with money, how the company acquire funds that they need for business and how they use that funds. So the finance managers help the, you know, when it comes to getting short-term and long-term financial needs of the company, they advise you, you know, where you can get funding at the lowest cost and how to use that fund to make sure that you don't you're not financially, you're not left carrying the baby alone financially, you know, stuff like that. Now, this will lead us to the next thing, which is the business stakeholders. Every business has stakeholders, the people that their actions in one way or the other affect the business. We have two types of those stakeholders. We have the internal stakeholders. Remember, stakeholders here means those people that their actions affect the business in one way or the other. So the internal one, we have the managers, employees, the owners of the business. So then the external stakeholders, then we have to look at other things like the customers of the business, suppliers, creditors. Then the community that hosts the business, where the business operates, and the society in general, and of course the government. So this group of this group of stakeholders, in one way, if you have a business, you are actually influence or what affected by what this group of people does. So now, how does the external stakeholders, how they affect the business? Okay, how they what they do to well, they give the how the weather affect food production. Now, how about this? Remember when I was discussing the stakeholders, I didn't. Well, this part have to do with the in general. Let me see. We have the suppliers, the creditors, the local community, society, and the government. Of course. Okay, good. Now, this have to do with the the part two have to do with what the government does, like the COVID-19. Let me use that as an example. The COVID-19, when it happened, there's some in the US. How does the government react to it? Many states closed down completely. Some states like Florida didn't close down completely. So you can see the different government action in different states regarding this pandemic. So all these things, whether you belong to the state where everything was closed down for a while or not, whatever the government did in that state affected their business. Then, of course, technology also affected the business. Competition, competition can use technology to outsmart you in the business. Like when the internet came out, many publishing companies, many publishers, newspapers, and magazines did not embrace it as the way they should. So by the time they know what is going on, the internet have already taken over the business from them. I would say, because many newspapers and magazines closed down. A lot of them closed down. Now those that are still existing, I will give you an example with the Baltimore Sun. Baltimore Sun, when I came to America, I went to buy a Baltimore Sun, Sunday Sun. It is this thick. Different kind of sections, education section, news section, business section. But now if I pick up a Baltimore Sun, it's like very tiny paper compared to what it was before. Everything was is now migrating online, and those publishers that does not really embrace it are actually, they are still licking their wounds today. Now, so the actions and sources of competitors might affect the company in many ways. So, and this, what I say, these stakeholders, their actions can also affect, they will definitely affect the business, any business at all. Now, so let us see, bring them all together in the external factors affecting the business. It comes under what they call the PESTLE analysis, which focuses on 6 important external factors that affect businesses: the political ones, the economic ones, socio-cultural ones, technological ones, legal one, and the environmental one. Now, the environmental one, all these external factors, we're going to examine them one by one in our subsequent lectures. But the bottom line is this: companies generally can't change local and global politics, the world economy, society's behavior, the development of technology, local law, or the environment. But yet, all of these factors affect how companies operate and whether or not they succeed. That's why we're going to look into each of them one by one. But I want to mention them here so that, to prepare your mind for what we are going to do in the future. Because each of them, we're going to examine them elaborately. Yeah. So, we'll be rounding up with what we call the 6 eras in the history of business in America. So, so those eras, we have the colonial periods, the Industrial Revolution time, Days of industrial entrepreneurs, production era, marketing era, and relationship era. Excuse me. So the colonial period is when the period before 1776, when the US was still a British colony. During that time, the economy was focused mainly on rural areas, that countrysides, because that's where the economy then was agrarian. So people were mainly get what they eat from the ground. Sorry, get what they need from the ground. They farm through farming, and raising farm animals or growing crops. So the economy was focused mainly in the rural areas where we have the output from farms and orchards, and So if a crop failed in 1 year, it will affect the whole country. And that during this time, it wasn't like now, where the whole world are now connected through globalization. Then if you want to buy something from another country, it takes months to ship them in here. Yeah, unlike now, they use bigger ship that are equipped with that can use machines that drive them. Then they depended on the wind, the sail. I call it the sail. So I'm sure you must have heard of trade winds. The wind that it will be blowing on the sail and be moving the ship. Wherever the wind is blowing, that's where they will be going. Anyway, long story short, we have that some of the main features of this era as the colonial towns were the marketplaces for farmers and craft people. Those that make knives, blacksmiths, they call them, and other type of craft people. Then the colony is dependent on England for manufactured goods. And even after the Revolutionary War of 1776 to 1783, the British investors banks still financed US businesses. Now, from this era, we move to the Industrial Revolution around 1750 in England. Now, with this revolution, I will have many business operations that are moved, improved a lot. Now, the emphasis on the villages is no longer the norm. Now, skilled workers now who specialize in building products from one factory, they move from one factory to another. So this basically the Industrial Revolution created the factory system. So now business in US began a time of rapid industrialization. Agriculture became mechanized, and we started having factories in cities. So by the mid 1800s, the rates have increased a lot, and that's when they started building railroads. In US. Now, which brings us to the age of industrial entrepreneurs. That's when we have big entrepreneurs like we have Rockefeller family. We have what all their names? Vanderbilt, Cornelius Vanderbilt. Then we have this one person that's Eli Whitney, that give us the interchangeable parts. Then we have this McCormick that brought in horse-drawn reaper. So things started to really change. Inventors started creating endless array of commercial products, and new production methods, came out. So a lot of it become mechanized. Now we have Cornelius Vanderbilt that built the railroads. We have J.P. Morgan for banking. We have Andrew Carnegie for steel, and so on and so forth. So they take advantage of all this, of the opportunity they have then to create really big businesses. So next is But one thing about this time of this era is that the market just were demanding a lot of goods, so the market were creating it. At that time, they don't even need much. They don't do much advertising that time because population is growing. There's demand for products, so whatever they produce are bought by people. You know, unlike so now with the kind of machine they have there that time, it's basically that what they produce, the quantity they produce is actually what the customers want. So they didn't need so much advertisement that time. Now the production, now that brings us the production era. Then this is when mass production started. And then through the 1920s, businesses focused even in greater attention on the activities involved in producing those goods that people want, you know, and more jobs became specialized, and then labor-intensive factories started coming out. So, and that is when Henry Ford brought in the assembly lines method of production, and also mass production started. Now, businesses focus on internal processes rather than external influences. So marketing wasn't really, they don't do much marketing, like I said. Now, that time, even consumer choice was actually limited in some way. For example, like I wrote here, if you want to buy a car that time, usually you have the Ford. Most of the cars they produced at that time were black color. So if you want to buy a Ford, say somebody's buying a Ford, he's buying the one that with black color. So the consumer choice are, you know, limited. But then, as depression of 1930s came out, the demand they plummeted. So because people lost their jobs, so they're not really the demand and the expenditure, people expenses declined. And the economy began to recover. People are still leery about spending money. So whatever you produce, you have to figure out a way to create awareness that this exists and what it can do. You have to create awareness to convince somebody to bring out that money to spend on that, on what you produce. That's when the marketing era started. So other key features of this era is this after the Second World War, demand for consumer goods exploded. Firms focus on consumer orientation. Then consumer choices, skyrocketed because now many firms are producing things, and because of so much are being produced, they have to figure out. Every company has to figure out a way to make themselves appealing to their customers. So they started doing more advertisement and branding of goods. So we have the relationship era. This brings us to the relationship era. This is the I think this is the last era, the era we are in now. We have not only that we do marketing, we also want to build some kind of long-term relationship with the customers. So to earn enormous payback for their effort, a company that retains customer is, the companies in this era now seek to build long-term customer loyalty. They do all kinds of things to make you a loyal customer. You know, they can deliver to your house, all kinds of stuff that make you happy because now their customer is the king. If the customer is happy, then they open their wallet for the business, and then business make money and then create more products. So companies that can build this kind of relationship with the customers, they gain a lot. Because if you have a relationship with the customer, that means that you don't have to spend so much on advertisement anymore because the customer is now loyal to you. And also, because customer spending tend to accelerate over time, your revenue will also grow, and so on and so forth. So we can now round up here today. I don't want to keep you too long so that you have more time for yourself to finish do your homework. So I'm going to leave you early. Any question before we leave? Hello?
No, I don't have any questions. It was very informative, though. You gave me a lot to think about. Woo.
Glad you say that. Okay, so Miss Lily, any question for me?
So about the homeworks, what? How many homeworks do we have?
So, like I said, each week I have the announcements. Let me take you there again.
Yeah, but because the first week we didn't receive the class, so I was wondering if we have to take like the 2 weeks homework.
I can't hear you very well. Say it again, Mr. William. You're talking about the homework, right?
Yes, but we didn't receive the first week of class, so I was wondering if.
Oh, I resetted it. I resetted it. So there's nothing to do this week. Now it's due on the 20. Hold on, let me show you. I'm gonna open it. So if you miss the first week of class, you are still you didn't right now. You start this. This should be our first week now. So you didn't miss everything. Is still there. You can still do them because I extended the due date. That what you're asking, right?
Yes.
Okay, let me open it so you can see. Now, this is your class right here. If you look at this announcement, I'll be making it every week. So I can see what you need to be done. This is week 2, even though I'm using it as our first week, but it's week 2. So some of the things that I do last week, I carried them over to this week. You can see this. You are read the study material, then post introduction of yourself, complete the syllabus quiz, complete orientation assignment, chapter 1 matching quiz, chapter 1 practice quiz. These are the things that I do this week. And to assess them, remember, always go through the models, except for the discussion. Any other thing, go through the model. If you click on the model, and then you can see where all these things are located. This is week 1, but this is week 2. Right here, role of business. See, this is the reading material. You can get it from here. And this is the matching quiz, practice quiz. Now, for introduce yourself, you can do it on the discussion section. Either you do it here at the end, but for discussion, I recommend going to the discussion section here. And once it opens, you see the discussion that is due. Here you can click on it. See, it's available until February 28th. You click on it, and then you can now post your responses. Okay? You good now? Hello, Mr. Williams.
Yes.
Okay. All right, then I see you guys next Saturday.
Okay, I have one question.
Yeah, sure.
How do you pronounce your last name, please?
Oji.
Oji?
Yeah, Oji.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. In my tribe, that this the tallest, I would say the tallest tree. I'm from the Igbo tribe. So the tallest tree in my tribe is called Oji. Oji. So my ancestors took that name. So it's a very big tree. Actually, you cannot climb it. You know, like you climb the regular tree. You can't climb Oji like you climb the regular tree. You have to go. So you have to take special precautions because it's very big. You cannot, your hand cannot go around it. So it's so big and so tall. You know. So my ancestors took the name. It wasn't my fault. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I see you on Saturday. Enjoy your weekend.
Professor Oji, right?
Oji, yes.
Thank you. See you next week.
Sure, I'll be here. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. So I'm going to put...
Bye, Professor.
Okay, bye. See you next week. Yeah.